Summer is coming to a close, kids are back to school, and you may be looking at your bank account saying, wow, that took a hit. You could be paying off a summer vacation, school supplies add up, and now it's back to sports and extracurricular activities for the kids. Join me from Cashco Financial. I have Courtney Nauman, and I'm curious, for those parents that are feeling overwhelmed, what do you have to say to them? You're not alone.
You're not alone. Don't panic. The beginning of the year can always be super stressful, but it can also be a lot of fun. So have some fun with it. Don't get overwhelmed too much. Figure out what you need and figure out how to take stock of what you got. And don't jump in and just go right to the list of supplies and say, I got to buy everything brand new. So just take a moment, take a breath, figure out what you have, reuse, reuse, reuse. This is probably, grade 4, grade 5. You've got many, many years to come. So just take some time.
All right, and the biggest thing going into a new year is budgeting, because certainly September is not the only cost coming at you throughout the year.
No, absolutely. Budgeting throughout the entire school year. We're a couple weeks in now. Everybody may have worked their way through their list, but maybe not. Now's a great time to go check for those sales out there, because lots of stuff is going to go on clearance to get you through to the next part of the semester. But also take the whole year. Take the calendar, figure out when are school photos, when are some of the fundraisers, when are some of the extracurricular field trips. Those are all going to be costs you're going to incur throughout the year, and keep that in mind as you're trying to build your budget for the year.
Great advice. All right, talking about sports, because that is a huge cost. And I know kids want to be in everything, and parents probably want to allow their children to be in everything, but it's just not cost effective.
It's not cost effective and it's not possible.
It's not feasible.
It adds a lot of stress in the home in general, trying to plan and figure out what's going on. So sit down with your kids, have a chat, pick a sport, pick one thing that you're gonna do, or pick an extracurricular, whether it's band or choir, it doesn't really matter, and figure out how you're gonna make that experience the best one possible. The other great resource is your community centers and your community leagues. There are amazing opportunities in Edmonton to get involved and get engaged, and they're free. So there's lots of ways to be active and get involved without having to break the bank. All
right, let's just look at and talk about the 3 top priorities, or I guess pieces of advice that you would give to anyone watching.
You betcha. So tip 1 for me is budget and plan. I know it's tough. I know it can be kind of daunting to do that, but take the whole calendar year for the school and figure out when you're going to need to spend some money. And a great thing to do is put $10, $15 aside in your school fund. So when those expenses creep up, you can dip in there and you don't have to feel the full hit of it right at that time. So
great, yep.
Tip number 2 is figure out what your kids actually need. They could come back and say, I need this electronic or this piece of clothing or all of these different things. Schools do have limits and have restrictions, so don't go break your budget on something you might not need. Tip number 3 is lunches.
Oh, the big one.
Lunches happen every day for the entire school year, and it can be pretty stressful, but it's also a great opportunity to get your kids involved in the planning, the prepping, the making. That way it'll help you save a few pennies along the way, but it'll also get them really excited about it and alleviate some of the stress in the household. So we've got some great resources on our website. We've got Every Penny Counts, a workbook, so lots of information in there, and you can work with your kids on it. The other piece is a couple blogs on just lunch making tips and ideas, just to help kind of get those juices flowing for you.
And they should be helping to prep. It's their lunch, why not? Get them excited about it. And if you prep it, it means you're not shelling out $10 to $15 for the cafeteria.
You betcha.
Awesome, Courtney, thank you so much. For any and all information on Cashco, you can find the link to them on our website, ctvedmonton.ca.